Hello and welcome to this week's TechA video newsletter on Friday the 8th of October 2010. TechA is where we look at the key indices of the CAC, DAX, Dow, FTSE, Nasdaq and Nikkei, and using technical analysis methods and techniques that are relatively simple, just basically to show you how powerful even the simple techniques can be. We then use that analysis to project what may happen in those indices over the coming week. Now, here we have the CAC, French index. We've got a lot of consolidation. Consolidation, as I'm sure you know, is where a chart is basically indecisive in terms of which way it's going. It's like a cluster of movement within a range. And that's pretty much what we have here. The only thing that we can see here with the CAC is that we've got this very thin candle, which we can just zoom in here. So that's from yesterday, and what we're likely to see is, if you look at where the wick of that candle is at 3800, and if we look back, it's pretty much caused a period of resistance previously at that point. So we'll move those up to there. So what we could get is a retracement. That would be our initial thought. However, there's two things that are likely to cause a bit of a support, which have done previously. First of all, we have the 200-day moving average, which is this dotted line here, which also can and does act as a support and resistance. So as we can see, it's kind of cupping almost. We can see here this period of consolidation here. Also, the fact that we do have that sort of tight period of consolidation, that alone creates its own support as well. So initially you sort of think, well, are we going to get a retracement? We're not really going to get a retracement. We're just going to get more consolidation below 3800, and I think that's likely to continue for a while yet before we see any fundamental changes. We may eventually get it settling down towards 3700, where we have the support again, but it's way too messy for really anything to be done about that. Similar story with the DAX, which is German index, messy again. Very thin trading from yesterday. It's basically because there's a complete indecision. People see that things are a bit of a state in terms of the chart, and it's difficult to gauge where it's going to go. There's sort of too many signals to show support and resistance along the way, and these cause confusion. And when you get confusion in charting, in analysis, when you get several million people all looking at the same chart, going, what's going on here then? What do we do? Where are the signals? What are the patterns? What are we looking at? Where's it going? And everyone's trying to find these same things, and then what we end up with is this sort of very strong period of consolidation, where there's no real movement as such, other than within a very strict range, and that's pretty much where this is. It's just a strong period of indecision of where the hell are we going with this. So that's very similar to what we saw with the DAX. The Dow is sort of pushing through. It broke through. It bounced from its emotional barrier at 10,000, very strong. Well, it was never going to break that, really. Not again, not having done so previously. And then we have this strong move forward. Now, there's a chance this could be there and there. So we've got this little range here between that support, very strong support, between that resistance, very strong resistance. And we're likely to get a consolidation with that too. So I don't expect anything hugely decisive happening today. It's very difficult to say that, of course, because things do change. There's always a million and one things that can affect it. However, what we're always doing, as I always point out with analysis, is that we're trying to load that coin in our favor. So when we are sort of flicking it and it's buy sell, we know that there's a stronger chance of a buy or a sell, long short. And that's all we're doing with analysis. We're trying to weigh up things so they're more in our favour than they would be if we really did just flick a coin. So so with this we do have strong resistance generated here. There was a previous strong resistance, but not as strong as this period here. You tend to find that consolidations with the bottom of which, where the bottom of that consolidation all tends to match the same or roughly the same number or period, then we're likely to see a strong resistance, which is what we've got here, which is the reason why that's stopped. The other thing we're not likely to see any huge retracement from that is that we've got this period of consolidation as well, so that's likely to act as a buffer, and if it did fall back through, we're just going to see just a bit of a mess, really. Nothing really huge, no retracements like these, no bounces like these. So I think it's basically hold tight with that. Same too with the FTSE, managed to break above 5600 at last. And it's a similar story. We've got this consolidation here, got the bottom of which is acting as a bit of a resistance. It's trying to break through, it probably will, and then we move up into this period of really just awkward consolidation. I hate consolidations. You too will learn to hate consolidations. Unless the consolidation allows for a good degree of swing and it's relatively tidy within it. But if it's a messy consolidation like we have here or here, there's not a huge amount that you can do with it. You really are starting to gamble if you're starting to move and trade within those. So leave alone. Nasdaq moved up. Again, we've got a resistance oddly created by the midpoint of this consolidation there, but I'll have a look back to see if it's being created by anything else. Maybe the top of those, but no, it's maybe there, but that's a bit tentative really. So yeah, so we have a resistance at 225, consolidation again, could move back down to 1950. But if we just get consolidation with the Dow, which this Nasdaq always follows, obviously, and so do some of the others, obviously, but we're likely just to get some more consolidation, it to move steadily down towards about 1975, somewhere around there, so the bottom of these two, I would imagine. And then we come to the mental Nikkei, which has been consolidating, moving on up, 9600. It has got support at 9600, although I would wait on that. Always be very cautious with the Nick. It's a strange beast. The moves, it used to be, it never used to be so crazy. It was always a strong mover, but it was never so erratic like this. It's just got so crazy the last sort of year or two. So we could get support at 9600. There's a very strong possibility of that. If we do, there is a possibility of that moving up to 10,000. Although just beware of all this mess here. Treat it much like you would consolidation, in terms of it's difficult to judge where it's going to end or even start, because of the signals being generated by all these acting as potential supports and resistances all along. So it's a very difficult thing to judge. So that's this week's Tech-A video newsletter. Don't forget, those of you that want free training on insightsupport.com, we've got a new broker, we've got a great new deal, and don't forget to sign up on the site insightsupport.com, and if you've not done so already, and we will see you there. We've got lots of stuff to be cracking on with. Okay guys, have a great week. Be back next week with a new update. Thanks again. Bye bye.